for a moment, talk a little bit about recovery
Okay.
in and of itself.
Okay.
Once we get into treatment, and treatment, you can either be in a facility where it's a controlled environment, or inpatient or outpatient. Explain what outpatient treatment is just for a moment, please.
Outpatient treatment is when you've been able to complete an inpatient residential program, and now you're back into society. However, because you're moving from inpatient to outpatient, what takes place is that an individual is still comes to the treatment facility, but it's only for a couple of hours a day, a couple of days a week, and then it gradually, as an individual moves through that phase of the outpatient treatment, will only come maybe once or twice a week, for an hour or two, and that allows the individual to still stay connected to treatment, still obtain positive information to be able to help to deal and cope with life situations outside of the treatment element, to be able to continue to monitor their usage, or rather their abstinence, and be able to kind of navigate them through life on the outside world.
Wonderful, wonderful. Come October the 17th, well, my clean date is really October the 13th.
Okay.
But I'll be celebrating on October the 17th at my home group. I'll be celebrating 26 years.
Wow.
And I was just sitting here thinking, looking in the monitor, looking at my picture in the monitor. I remember when I first came around in treatment in 1988, and there were some men that they called old timers, some ladies they called old timers, and they had gray hair like Richard Lewis and that sort of thing. But I guess I'm an old timer now.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, and I still go to meetings.
Right.
Still work the steps.
Me
Still
too.
have my sponsor.
Me too.
And some persons in the real listening audience might think, well, if you've got 9 years, 12 years, 20 years, 25 years, why do you still go to meetings?
I have to, because one thing that I've come to understand is that complacency will kill me.
It's the enemy.
If I forget where I came from, you hear a lot of people say that I don't want to hear the drug story, I need to hear the recovery story, but when I hear someone's drug story, it reminds me of my own drug story, and if I keep that up front, what I understand is I won't return to my past if I don't forget it. So I don't want to allow history to repeat itself in my life. I've done that years and years and years. That's why it took me so long to be able to surrender to the disease of addiction and be able to move into the process of recovery.
God just spoke to me while we were speaking. We are chosen.
Yes.
We are chosen.
Yes. And if you recall history in the Bible, everyone that God used was of what they call unfavorable behavior patterns. So, David, he had his infidelities. Moses had he murdered someone. So everybody that God used to be able to empower his people were individuals like us that are outcasts to society.
You preaching now, girl. You preaching now. Go ahead. Yes, indeed.
So I understand that, I have a responsibility that if God blessed me to bring me out of the darkness and expose me to the light, my job is to be the light on the hill, to be able to shine for other people who are still in darkness, to be able to guide them out.
Yes. I was telling someone the other day that if there were no testimonies, if we didn't have any real live individuals, any real miracles that people could see,
Right.
what would we have to look for? If there were no old timers, if there were no predecessors,
Right.
How would we maintain? How could we even have the faith to believe?
Right.
A lot of times, we have to see somebody who's in recovery.
Exactly.
When my mind goes back and I would hear Richard Lewis speak, he empowered me. He gave me something to strive for. And Monica, I honestly truly believe that as this recovery walk comes up, persons who hear your name, they see you, they know that your drug of choice was heroin, wasn't it?
Yes. But that was at the beginning, but at the end, I was a garbage head. Anything that would allow me to take me outside myself is what I would use.
You were a garbage head?
Yeah.
You don't look like a garbage head.
Most people turn into garbage heads at the end.
At the end.
Right.
That's
exactly.
right. That's right. Like, what do you got?
Whatever.
And one of the things I can recall my sponsor who's dead now. He was my third sponsor. I had him about 15 years. Neville. I recall one evening I was in the church, and we had a petition up, and we were having a church meeting on one side of the petition, and there was an NA meeting on the other side of the petition. And over on the church side, we were in there arguing and fussing. But over on the NA side, you could hear them stand up and say, first of all, I want to give honor to God and thank God for this. And I'm saying, why are we over here arguing and fussing? And they over there giving praises to God, right? So I asked my sponsor that, and he said, Basha, the difference between people who are in NA and in the church. He said, people in the church are trying to stay out of hell. People in NA been to hell and back.
Right, exactly.
And see, when you've been to hell and back, you're going to go to meetings.
Yeah.
You're going to go to meetings. Why? You know why, right? Because we don't want to go back to hell.
Exactly.
See,
exactly.
And when I say we're chosen, I mean to say that, like you said, everybody that we know who used like we did is not around today.
Mm-mm.
And those who are around today are not as healthy as we are.
Mm-hmm.
Give some information just for